Hi everyone, welcome to summer. This video is about Tidepool Alpha 1 from start to finish. Alpha means there will be bugs. It's a testing version and the first look that most people will get of Tidepool. First you need to go to the Project Kismet website, log in, and click download and choose from one of these installers. If you don't have Windows or Macintosh, you can go to the Oracle website and download Java 8 and run it from here. The Linux, Ubuntu, and Fedora installers are close, but not quite there yet. So I would click Macintosh. As you can see, the installer is now 177 megabytes. This will get smaller. As this is the first of 9 versions, everything is going to get smaller, faster, and more fun. Let's run Tidepool. Let's look quickly under the hood. I want to show you the files of Tidepool. You click on your home directory and you'll see a Tidepool directory with 4 more directories under here, and this is the data for Tidepool. If things aren't working right, the best thing to do is simply delete the Tidepool directory and run it again. If you don't want to wait for the initial download, you can just delete everything except for content safely. Content contains the various media files that are used by Tidepool, the avatars, the 2-dimensional images, the 3-dimensional models, the sounds, and the terrain. If you want to add things to Tidepool in this version, you can make a drawing and then put a ping file in this directory, or put an MP3 file in this directory, and start Tidepool up again, and it will automatically add it to the server, and then everyone will be able to use it. So I'm going to log in, click remember so I don't have to type this in again. If I wanted a new account, I could click sign up and it would bring me to the website where I could create one, and I'll click play or hit enter. Now the first time you do this, this will take a while because it's downloading all the media files that you just saw. And Tidepool opens, and we see a green field, a blue sky, and a bunch of silhouetted images in the distance. These are called items in Tidepool. So the most important thing to learn from the start is how to move. Use the WASD keys used by many games. W is for moving forward, and S is for moving backward. A goes to the left, and D goes to the right. You can also use the arrow keys to turn without moving. The left one spins you to the left, and the right one spins you to the right. You can use the arrow keys go up and down also to look around. And you can also spin by clicking and dragging with the mouse in the direction that you want to turn. You can also use the trackpad. So on the Mac you use 2 fingers and you can turn left, turn right, move forward, and move back. So that's how you move. So I'm going to walk a little bit and show you that those silhouettes, depending on which way you're facing, will show light. That's because we have 2 corners of light, and in some views they're a little darker than others. So down here it says, "Welcome to Tidepool. Press F1 to learn how to play." It also says tfal, me, login. This is a command that happened when I first logged in. So let's follow this advice and press F1 to bring up the Tidepool guide. Here's some prosaic descriptions of what Tidepool is about. I click this tab and we can see the 4 major interface elements in Tidepool. The lexicon, which lists the words that you've learned. the roster, which lists the other players nearby and the other agents as well. The transcript, which shows chat lines and commands. And the message bar, which allows you to type chat messages and also make commands. You'll notice it says Control L, Control T, Control R, Control M. These are toggles which hide and show these elements. Let's try it out. Control L brings up the lexicon and then hides it again. R does the same thing, and I just noticed that Zaripa is in the game. So we'll probably see her running around. And M shows the message bar, so I can type, "Hi Zaripa, how are you?" And you can see my chat message. So hopefully she'll see that. In the meantime, let's take a look at the other controls that you can use. So we've talked about the movement keys, and we've talked about Tab and Control L, R, T, M. The other interface keys are F10, F11, and F12. Let's have a look at those. So F10 simply shows the info pane, which tells you where on the field you are and which way you're facing. Press F10 again to make it hide. And F11 makes it full screen, or the opposite of full screen. And F12 changes your view mode. If I hit it once, I go from this first-person view to follow mode. And so you can see my avatar. I'm positioned behind my avatar so I can see it running. You just saw one of the bugs right now. As I said, alpha means there will be bugs. And this is one of them that I chose to leave in the program and fix it in the next milestone. If you hit F12 again, you do vanity mode, where you can see yourself, and you can see that this is a cylinder with two eyeballs. This avatar is called Zupa. If you don't like the color of your avatar, you can press the F4 key to change the avatar color until you get one that you like. These are random. And you'll notice that this orb in the background is also changing color. This is my orb. It indicates where my spawn point is. So when I started the game, I was there. When we play the game within a game Skedaddle, I'll go back there. And so this is matched to my color. I can also press Shift F4 to change my avatar type. So this toggles between the Trugger and the Zupa avatars. We can have more avatars soon. So if I walk up to an item, like this flower here, and I hover my mouse over it, it changes into a little hand, which tells me that I can act on it, and it also plays a little random tone. Anything with a random tone means that there's not a custom sound for that item. Some items have custom sounds. So to melt this item, I'm going to right-click it. When you melt an item, it disappears from the world, and you reclaim the number of crystals that the item cost. So down here you see C1, this stands for crystals 1. The W is for word, so I've learned one word, and S is for score. Right now I don't have any score. Let's come out something else. How about this right here? Alright, now I've just gotten Tree of Kindness, and you can see that Tree of Kindness costs 10 crystals, and so I now have 11 crystals, one from the Blue Daisy and one from Tree of Kindness. Let's melt some more. There you heard a custom sound. Now I tried to melt this, but it says I need 50 crystals to melt this. So the rule with melting is that you have to have as many crystals as an item costs in order to melt it, unless it's 10 crystals or lower. So what this means is that when you are trying to melt things, you have to look around first for low crystal items, which are usually vegetation of some kind. Flowers and trees are usually the best bet starting out. Okay, so now I'm up to 22 crystals. This means that I can melt some bigger things. Now that one still needs 30. How about this one? Okay, so the portal was 10, and I might be able to get this now. There we go. So the flip side of melting is casting. To cast a new item, you right-click on the word from the lexicon. So if I want to cast another spider, I right-click on it, and you'll notice that spiders cost 30 crystals, and it's going to deduct it from here. So there's that spider, and I now have 30 more crystals. If I do another one, I'm down to 2 crystals. If I try again, it warns me that I don't have enough crystals. So that's melting and casting. Now, I don't know if Zaripa is moving around or not. Let's start playing the game. Oh, there she is. So if I know her, she's probably changing her color. I'm going to go ahead and start the game, which is Control F2. Get ready to play Skedaddle. And it starts with a 5-minute clock. And one thing that is important to know is that all of your words and your crystals get cleared. Don't worry, you get them back later. So the goal in Skedaddle is to cast as many big ticket items as you can. Alright, so I'm going to try this. I got 10 from that. I need 60 for that. Let's see if she's running around. I can see here that she melted tea tree, so you can see what other people are doing. Now I'm filling up my crystal reserves here so I can melt bigger things. 45. $75. Okay, so the goal of Skedaddle is not to just simply melt things, but also to cast them. If I cast this tea house, which is worth 30, watch what happens to my score. So your score is the sum of all the crystals that you've cast in the field. Now if somebody comes along and melts what I casted, it gets reduced by that amount. So it's a good thing to melt other people's items, and you want to make sure that your items stick around. One good way of doing that is to cast high crystal items like this 60, because she would have to have 60. I don't know where she went. There she is. Oh, there's her color. Oh, she just ran past. Where'd she go? There she is. It takes a little while for things to update. And I'm doing that to save some server time. Okay, so while we're waiting for the clock to run out, I'll cast a bunch of things here so that I have a chance of winning. I'm just going to do a bunch of... Okay, let's look and see if there's anything I left out. So I covered everything except for ground color, ground type, and sky color. The other thing is that you can also type commands into the message bar. So as an example, let's say that I wanted to cast a chest here. All right, so if I do M, I can do cast chest. And that's identical to actually right-clicking on it. So you can use the command bar to do commands. So I'm going to run over here and turn around and use an undocumented feature, which is I use the greater than and less than keys to fly. So you can see I'm going up in the air, and now I can look down, and if I hit F5, it changes the color of the ground. And I can keep hitting F5 until I'm happy with what I see. And now we're getting to the end of the game. 1. And the winner is T-Foul. All right, I have to rub it in. Haha. So if I hit F6, it changes the color of the sky. You hit Shift F5 to change the ground type. This is a topo map, shades of things to come. And this is an aerial map. And if you hit it one more time, you go back to the default, and this is the one where you can change colors. To get back to the ground, I'm going to hold Shift less than, brings me down. You can change the properties of items or words by double-clicking on them. So for example, I could click on this spider here and change the scale to 2 and hit OK. See, this one got bigger, but this one did not. So if I want to have a more lasting impact on things, I can't melt them, you can double-click the word. So for example, if I wanted to change the price of tea house and bring it down to 20, I could do that. And so words are the templates that you use to cast items with. So these properties have to do with new items that you cast, whereas these properties have to do with that particular item. Okay, well that's it. Thank you for listening. And if you want to play with us while we're all around, come to Tidepool time, which is noon Eastern, and you'll find us playing in there at that time. Otherwise, have fun, and I'll see you in Milestone 2.